Hey, this is Mark at Woody Creative. I wanted to capture the process of how do you create a blog. Created one from the content that we had in the, I think it was from that Lake Travis article, but there's a layout to this. This is kind of long, which actually is good, but there's a kind of a format, as you can see. I just sort of added some images in the middle just to break it up, and I'll show you how all this works. And it's sort of like formatting in Microsoft Word. So if you're familiar with that, but that's what the blog looks like. There's a so this is a single blog page. So if you actually go up to, in other words, you're actually looking at one individual blog. If you go look at the chronological listing of blogs, it starts with whichever one is on top, which is this one, and it only shows you an excerpt. And I'll talk about what the excerpt is. Excerpt is, and that's hard to say. Excerpt, and because you want to control that. But here, this this is sort of the teaser. Eating for a healthy spine. There's the excerpt. Here's the next one, which is one I just made up. Test, and there's only two in there right now. So what we're going to do, there's multiple ways you can do this, but this black bar only shows up when you're logged in to WordPress. But and we'll go into that more. But new and post. We're not going to add new media, not a new page, not a new project, user, etc. We're going to create a new post, which is a blog. And I think I already have, yeah, so we're going to copy the one that's on the website and just build from that. So the first thing to know is this right sidebar. We're going to leave that in place because we do want to have a right sidebar. If you wanted a full screen, full width, you would go that way, but we don't. We're going to keep the sidebar in there. So I'm just going to paste in the title. So it's step one, paste the title. Step two, turn on this purple thing, use the Divi builder. The Divi is the theme. The parent theme is also a child theme, but just sort of Divi is the thing that gives you all this sort of functionality. First thing I'll ask you, what kind of page do you want to do? Do you want to build something from scratch? You want to choose from a pre-made layout? We're going to clone the existing page that I just showed you. So basically, you can just take the existing page, and it'll pull everything onto your page. And here it is. Well, actually, here it is. It's a post. It's this post. There's only two. If this were a page, we might want to start with an existing page. So we're gonna click on that. It's basically gonna copy everything that's on that post onto the page, and here it is. And so quick tour is this. The blue is a section, and inside every section there are at least one row, which is green, and then some kind of modules, which are images. This is an image module. This is a text module. Here's another row. This is a second row that lives inside this one blue section. Here's a third row inside that section. Remember I showed you the three images? Well, there they are. And this is stuff that's turned off, and I may end up kind of deleting it out of here. So let's first look at, this is the module settings. To edit it is this. I'm going to show you the front end view of this too, but I'm just going to, well, real quickly, let me show you the image author is that little photo. You really don't want to mess with that probably. The actual author is that. So that probably looks familiar to you because there's that photo, and it's sort of set to dip into your main photo on the page. And there's the thing I just showed you. So now we're going to get into just this copy, which is going to be in the next row. So that row, I'm going to change the name of that from text to be, so here it is. I'm going to go down to the bottom and change the label on that to be blog copy. So now it's called blog copy. So now we're going to edit that blog copy. I'm going to go over here and just copy. Let's just copy all of this probably to there because I'm not going to grab that photo yet. And I'm going to go into the text. We're in the visual. I'm going to go into the text version where this is all the HTML version because I don't want to, I'll show you why. I'm going to delete all this. I'm going to go back to the visual. And if I just paste in the visual, it looks like it pasted everything just fine. But if I go and look in the text, you'll see it's grabbing some code. It might be okay, but sometimes it'll grab little bits of code that you don't want. So I'm going to just paste the text into that little, and then I'll go back to the visual tab. So So I think what this is, why it's a must your child look. So if that's the title, this maybe is the I would call it. Say you want to have it. You want to have a good H1 heading 1. So that's the heading 1, and this probably would just be copy. But let's see how you have it. Yes, indeed. So even the smallest spine, I would say that's probably a heading 2. So let's go find. Basically, just click on anything in the row, and we'll change it to heading 2. What else? Okay, top 10 reasons. Okay, I'm gonna save this now, and I'm gonna save it as a draft. Real quickly, and I'm gonna show you how you build it on the front end. I'm gonna translate or transition to the front end builder. But real quickly, you'll want to add categories and possibly tags. You definitely want to add categories, or else it'll just be uncategorized. So far, we've added a couple: healthy eating, pregnancy, teens. I'm going to get rid of these 2. They were just tests. But so let's say this one is, what's the category? So it's definitely infants and children. But if there are anything more specific than that, like if it were, specifically about a child's immune system, that might be a topic. Categories are like, the category could be pizza and the toppings would be a tag. So that's kind of you always want to have, a category. You won't always have a tag. So I'm going to add a category of, we already have infants, and maybe I'll just leave it at that. Now children, because you would probably distinguish between the 2. And then we'll also check infants. Okay, so I'm going to, and I mentioned this is turned off. This is a section that's turned off. I'll probably end up deleting it, but it's gray because, or it's slightly blue because here under the advanced tab, the visibility is turned off for phone and tablet and desktop. That's why you don't see it. So I just have it sort of minimized. I could open it back up. It's another way. I will probably delete that so you won't have to see it. And this stuff down at the bottom also is turned off, and it's just basically saying, well, if we wanted to have a full width image at the top, I could put the sidebar inside the copy. This is a section for email collection that we may or may not turn on, but we just kind of want to have it sitting down there just in case. Okay, so let's go. Now I'm going to do, so we're in this Divi builder, not the standard editor for WordPress, we're in the Divi builder. I'm going to go to the front end, and it's going to look like we're in the browser, and it is, but it looks sort of like we're looking at the post just in a regular browser. And moving slowly. Let's see. Let me go back and look at this. Where was our? These will be the next things that we grab. So it'll be there. So I'll probably just grab all. Wow, this is a long one. Grab all the rest of this. Copy it. Okay, so this is the visual builder. So that same thing we were just looking at. This is just another way of looking at it. We don't have an image yet, so you're not seeing an image in there. But okay, so I'm going to go in to. You can edit this right here. So if I wanted to start typing, I can type directly into the page here. You can just see a little better. So remember the blue section. Well, here it is again. This is the large blue section. Inside a blue section, there's always at least one row. And inside a row, there's always at least one module. That's an image module. That's a text module. So here's the next, I think the next section starts down here. And sometimes you have to mouse over to get it to show up. But let's go down to the bottom, and I'll keep that section there. I'm going to, okay, let's continue editing. So let's, I think this one, we wanted to change that to an H2. So there's just another place you can edit it. We'll leave these images in this row in here and we'll maybe come back to that in a minute. But I'm going to click and delete all this content from the previous thing. So now we have an empty, it's a little hard to see it. I'm not going to do that. Let's empty it. Let's delete it down to, say, here. so you can still see some of that text. Okay, so now I'm going to triple click this and just paste what I had, which is basically the rest of that copy. First thing I'm going to do is, since I noticed this, I'm going to grab that link, copy it, and let's see. Let's see. So we're going to make that be an actual link. Like I'm going to say, see more information on research related to GoTo, and it's not going to be please visit, so we'll get rid of that. And I'm going to copy this and more information related to, so say chiropractic care for newborns, infants, and children. I'm going to highlight that and click the link button. I'm just going to paste that link, hit enter, add italic and bold so it will show up a little bit. So now there we go, we have a link. And I really want to go back and make it so it opens up in a new tab, so we'll do that later. But okay, so what else do we need to do in here? I would say that's probably going to be a H2 tag right there. And we'll do the same thing to this one, where let's copy this link. And let's see. And the period always goes inside the quote, by the way. Where did we go? Well, I'm not sure where we went there. Well, okay, let's do this. It's a good time to show you the editing. I can click on that. Let's go back to this. When you click on this, it opens up some functionality like the save, draft, or the publish functionality. You don't want to publish it until you're ready to publish. But there's a lot to show you. But this is the time thing that says you kind of can go back in time. So I'm going to go back to 342. And yeah, well, that was a mistake. Didn't need to go back that far. 343 maybe. All right, let's see if that works. Okay, whatever happened, we lost that link, and which doesn't generally happen, but so I'll need to go find it. Anyway, I'll go find that a little bit, and I'll add it back in there. So let's keep going with. I'm going to get rid of the bold and the italic, and just make this be an H2. Same thing there. Get rid of the bold and the italic. Be an H2. Okay. Now on these numbered things are going to be, we're going to probably open that up so we can look at it. Bold and H2. Okay, so what I'm going to do to be able to access this little box, sometimes you have to click off it. So if I click on it, now I'm editing it, but if I have to click off it, then I can get to that little settings box. So I'm going to click that settings. We are in the, this is just text. That's not actually, see, I hit that back key and it kind of sucked it back up there. I'm getting rid of those because I want to make sure and make these dynamic numbers. And the way I'll do that is just kind of make sure I get my mouse on every one of them and hit that number key. So those are actual, that assures me that those are actual web related numbering system. Okay, so I think we have all the stuff in there. I'm going to leave this in there, but we may go back later and change it. And this doesn't look like it's what it should be. H2. So we'll need to check that. What's this one? Okay. Let's see what else. Okay, so I'm going to save this as a draft right here. There's my, I couldn't find my pause button. All right, so we don't have our, like we do here, there's an image, that main image. There's a lot to show you, but that main image right there, I'll show you how you add that in. And to do that, we're going to go back into the, we need to save this as a draft. I think we just did that though. We're not really going to exit a visual builder. We're going to change it back to the regular builder. So I'm going to click edit post, which we're still in edit mode. But you can see it took us back to that other type of backend builder. So there's kind of three. There's the regular standard editor, which you never want. There's the Divi regular post editor, Divi builder. And there's what we were just in, which is the front end builder. And the only reason I'm switching to this one is because this one gives you easy access to, visually be able to see the categories. And I'm going to go here and set the featured image. And actually, I'm going to pause this because I'm probably going to go create one for the library, but you don't need to see us do that. Okay, we created our image. Sometimes you can't go directly to the upload files button. Let's try it and see. If I go to upload files, I go and select, this is the photo I created. And by the way, we try to make these be at 1100 wide. About 1100 by 734 is sort of the standard size. That assures that the resolution is going to be good. So let's see if this works when I set the featured image. Okay. So now we have the featured image in place. I'm going to, I don't need to save the draft again, but I'm going to hit the preview button. So it's not yet published. Preview, you're just looking at it on your own computer. If I wanted to schedule this for the future, you could go to modify the publish immediately and put whatever date you want in the future. So if you wanted to say July, whatever, the date, the year, actually the time, and then hit OK, you're basically scheduling it for then. But I'm just going to, I just hit the preview button. So here it is as a preview. So now we have a featured image. It's by me. That's my name. There's the category children and the category infants. So that's dynamic. If you have whatever blogs you've created that have children as a category, if I click it, it'll put all of this together on one page. Okay, so and this is the standard sidebar that we have over here. We can modify this at any time. Okay, so here's our content, and we'll probably, maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll take that out, but probably I could just put 3 baby photos in there, but no real need to do that. So here we go. I think everything's there. I need to fix those links. Actually, I'm not sure what that's. Okay, that's linking to a third-party thing. So we'll just make that bold and italic. That should not be italic. So this is popping up now because it's I have it configured to just show up at the end of every blog when you get to the bottom of it. Kind of non-obtrusive, but that's going to the MailChimp list right there. And it also happens, I think, on the home page when you get to the bottom. So it's not really getting in people's way. Okay. Also, I want to make this so it opens up in a new tab. If I click it now, it goes away. So we're going to go back into our blog copy. Start with that one. Go to the end. Well, hold on. It's down here. The second blog copy. Go to the bottom and highlight this whole thing. Click the edit button and the settings, the link options, and it's right here. Open link in a new tab. So now they'll stay on the page. If you're linking to a page in your site, you can pick it here or anything in your site. And that's really good to link to other stuff within your site. And it's dynamic too. So if you change the name of the thank you page, the link will always update itself automatically. It just knows you're linking to this page. So that's going to open in a new tab. Let's see, are those actual links right there? No, they're just both. Okay, yeah, we're going to get rid of that. So I would not make any of that bold or italic. So, and I wouldn't make this italic either. Okay, so now I think we had some other links in here. There was a link that I actually deleted. This one. Okay, so let's highlight that, copy it. So it's going to be, it's around wherever soreness is. Soreness, okay. So these are described in, okay, so like I'm going to say, read, it sounds like, you know, the study, I assume. So we're going to highlight that, go all the way to the top, click on the link button. I'm going to paste that link, and I'm going to go to the settings again because I want it to open in a new tab, update it, and then I'm going to hit the bold and italic. And I think this should be good to go. The Journal Explorer. We're just going to make that all, all italic. Although, because Explorer is actually a publication, we make it unitalic. And it should all be bold. Okay, and same thing here. We'll also want these to open up in a new tab. So bold, italic. Yeah, let's see. I'll work on those. We don't need to see that. Well, let's go ahead and do it. What the heck? Highlight it. Click that. Click the edit button, the link options, new tab, update. Edit it. Click those link options, open a new tab, and update it. And I think I'm going to go ahead and save that draft. So let's see. I think that's it. We would want, oh yeah, let's show you how to do, so here on the, we're on the actual, this actual blog. So if I go to the blog page, the main blog page is where you see the excerpt. So this excerpt, no, yeah, it's not, well, let's see, hold on. Maybe we haven't set this one. Oh, I know what it is. Yeah, this is pulling in, the excerpt is pulling in that, and it shouldn't be eating for healthy spine. It's supposed to start here, so we'll have to figure out why it's doing that. Okay, but let's go ahead and show you how to create the excerpt and what it is. So if we say, I'm trying to find what would be the good. Okay, let's see. Let's say that's, I'm going to copy that. We'll say that that is the excerpt. So here it is, right here, excerpt. I'm just going to paste that in there. Should be more than that. For infants, white semester, that's not enough. I mean, it needs to be more. Let me pause this. I'm actually going to grab this and use this as the excerpt because top 10 is always big. The fact that there's a top 10 in there. So this will be what shows up. So I'm going to go here, pull that back. Okay, and that's a pretty good excerpt. So by the way, if you're not seeing, and you can change the author down here, once there's another author. If you don't see the excerpt, it will be, you have to go up to screen options at the top. This is on every page. And make sure that excerpt is checked. Some of these other things you don't really need. But so there you go there. So I'm going to, let's just preview this. Right here. Okay, so yeah, actually I need to publish it. I'm going to publish it so it'll show up on the main blog page. So publish. Okay, that's published. Now we'll go to this main blog page. And when I hit blog, this won't no longer be the first one. It'll be the baby. There it is, because it's the most recent one. And you can see this chiropractic care for infants and children, why it's a must. It's going as far, it's cutting you off because it's too many characters. So, and I need to figure out why this is pulling in there too, because it's grabbing that initial piece of text and pulling it in like it is here, Dr. Gene Norbert, Chiropractor Austin. We might just get rid of that, but that's what you do and why you set the text for the excerpt. So let's click on this one, and you can see it's part of the children. If I click on, if there's anything else, this other one, if I click on children, it's the only one that's going to show up, but you'll watch and see that the URL is going to be the domain/category, which is for posts/children. It's a page that basically pulls all of them that have that category. So if there were 5, you'd see all 5 posts here. Now I clicked on infants, so it's category/infants. There's all of the, okay, yeah, I made another one with infants. So these two, both were categorized. This one has infants and pregnancy. Okay, so that's how you use those. We can actually put categories over here in the sidebar if we want to, in all kinds of places. If there's a category you want to link to, you can send people in a category link in an email or a text or anything to say, hey, check out, we have several articles on chiropractic for infants or during pregnancy. You know, there's 6 or 7 articles. Here's a link to see all of them. Let's see. We don't have the SEO thing installed yet, but that'll be a whole other thing to talk to you. It's not really hard, but to show you some of the things that you can do to make it SEO friendly. And one of the biggest ones is, well, you figure out what's the main idea, like this, and try to find something that people are searching for. But chiropractic care for infants, that could be one. And so you get it in your title of the page, you get it in the URL of the page, which is right here, which automatically produces from this. You make sure it's in your H1 tags. You make sure it's in the copy in several places. That's kind of it. You put links to and from it. It's really good if you put links to your own site and to third-party sites. Google likes to see that you are linking like you are down here. I think there's some external links. And let's go and check real quick. This should open up in a new tab, and it does. Good. So they still have your site open. And so that's what that is. I'm not sure it's a study, but let's see. And there's our newsletter. Of course, we can have this pop up, show up or not on any given page or post. I like to have it happen at the end of all the posts. I don't have it happening on all the pages. And we can make it show up just once per day and then not bug people again. Okay, so so I think that's kind of it for now. And I'm going to pause this and just try to think if there's anything else that we haven't covered. I thought real quickly a couple of things to go over might be just real quick things like for the row is what defines columns. So if we wanted to make this is your column structure. So if I wanted to change this to 4, click that, and okay, now I have an empty slot over here. So if I wanted to add another image, I can hit the plus sign and start typing in the module name, which is IMA. There it is, image. Or an easy way to do that, I can actually just duplicate this. That means duplicate, and drag this over to fill that slot. Then I can click on the settings button and click on the settings button, and I would go and find whichever image I wanted to sit in there. So I wanted that to be it. And sometimes you need to check and make sure that it's not giving you a medium or a large, a small image. Or, in this case, I usually almost always do full size because you don't necessarily want to make the browser have to think too hard. But if it's a giant image, it might be better to just make it be a little smaller. I don't want to change the proportion of it also. But so say I upload that image. Okay, hit the checkbox. But that's how you do that. I'm going to change this back to 3. What else? If you wanted to add a row, you'd hit the plus sign. Add a module, you hit the plus sign. This could have all just been one row. Like you can, I can really collapse this because you don't need to see. I should name this row. Like I'm going to call it like author row with photo. So that's the row with the photo. You don't really need to mess with it. So this row, that's like the beginning of the first text module with blog copy, the 3 images. This is another text module with the blog copy. There's not that much more going on with this. But anyway, that's a quick tour of that, and more to come.